of people who love to cook. And so we have men and women who want to share their expertise. And what I wanted to do, first off, you're our number one example, is I wanted to teach you how to think bread and waffles, pancakes and waffles, because I went on this diet, Kellyanne's bone broth diet, for 2 years in a cycle, and you could not have any grains. And a lot of people don't know how to cook without any. I followed her recipes perfectly, and after a while I just thought, I miss pancakes. Oh, I'd like some waffles, da da da. Okay, so I developed a system, and I want to share it with you because I think you can embrace it. That's why I put, yes, you can do this. And mainly when you open up to what's not a grain, you find all kinds of little vegetables that are underneath the ground. Yes, like maca. I looked that up. And Walmart, I've had to search all over the place for some of these grains. But Walmart carries a lot of unusual grains and nuts, and that you don't have to go to a health food store and spend a lot of money. So, anyhow, I am online with Dr. Gundry, and after a while I hit a plateau with the bone broth diet, and I actually gained weight while going fasting and going on all this special stuff. Okay, so I learned that lectins are a thing, okay? And I haven't analyzed my stash of stuff I'm going to pull out here for the lectins, because after a while you just kick it off to the curb and you want to make something delicious. But Gundry advertised, you know, you could buy this pancake batter for $35–40 and get it sent to you. And isn't that wonderful? You can have pancakes and waffles. Well, yeah, it is, but I don't like to pay that much for a batter mix, okay? So I said, when I saw that, I ran upstairs and said, I can do it myself. But I had experimented with a variety of grains, and this is what was key when I watched his video. His video said tapioca flour and green banana, and I had that upstairs. So and then this is what I had to do, because you get so much variety of non-green stuff that it was nice to just put it in a little handy-dandy basket, because I'd throw them all up there, and before you know it, I had a big mess. But Gundry's thing had lots of tapioca flour, and I only used little bits thinking it was a thickening thing, but it gives good texture. So the base of what we're going to make today is with tapioca flour. See, I had it a bunch and it's pooping. But here's maca. I looked it up last night. Tons of delicious stuff for your body. So that's something you can use. And I want to teach you how to dip in your bags and then put them in your bowl and then mix it up. Okay, I thought this was cool. Tiger nut flour. It works. It's non-grain. Here's my my favorite, and I think this is pricey, but I don't know. It's pink, and you put it in your flour. See, I had an old-fashioned recipe from a friend, and you put liquid in one, flour in another. Okay, coconut flour, beware. It's easy to get, not too expensive, I don't think, but you gotta know it absorbs the moisture. Okay. Here's, ta-da, Gundry's stuff. Green banana, and I don't know why it turned out so well with him, but it was really kind of neat because it has good flavor when you use the tapioca nuts. But here's some more of my stash. You get all these nuts, okay? Walnut, pecan, but I had to go off cashews. Lots of lectins in them. But here's another favorite for me. And somebody said online, oh, where did you get that? Oh, here's some more nut flour blends. So I got oh, that's tiger nut and nut flour. So that's, anyhow, you shop around. And when you find nut flour, you know it's good to add, because it's good for your body, although I've had some people say, nah. Oh, here's hazelnut, almond, pecan, and what was that? Walnut, pecan, almond, and hazelnut. So you can make your pancakes however you want. But what's cool about this is that we're going to, and I want the videographer to come over and take a look and just put the camera down in here. So we're going to start off with tapioca flour. And I wanted to make some for Paxton here. But anyhow, and then I always have a itch in my head, but baking soda and water will keep your hands clean. I thought I had a piece here. So here's what you do, your little Mary Five Fingers. So that's like for one batch. We'll kind of make a double batch. And I don't know how it's going to turn out, but we get to modify and we get to adjust. So we got our tapioca flour in there, okay? So this is Gundry's fancy $50 stuff, maybe $45. But green banana, a little bit less, but the tapioca flour makes thickening. And when I came up and experimented from my computer up here, when I made my waffles, so I'm making a double batch, so 2 handfuls of avocado. Oh no, oh that's avocado. I was supposed to be using green banana. They were both green, so this gets a lot of avocado. So green banana. So remember, tapioca and green banana. I'm going to do like 3 almost in there because, oh, and it feels so good to play with this stuff. Okay, see the dust coming up? Keep your mouth away because you don't want to fill your lungs with that. Not that it's bad for you, but now we got the basic idea here. So what do we want to do? Here's where you get to play. You get your core, your tapioca flour, and your green banana flour. And of course I did avocado by mistake, but it isn't going to ruin anything. That's what I want you to know is that you can't really ruin this. So I'm going to hit some pecan. Here's the gorgeous stuff, and I'll show you this mainly because, see this pretty pink powder? Yeah, pomegranate is good. Even though it's pricey, you can adjust what you put in there, but pomegranate flour, yeah, I like it. Okay, you might not. So walnut is really good. They say even for men's sexual activities, walnut flour is really good. But I want to see if I can get in here, actually, and add some walnut. We did pecan, so put that away. A little bit of walnut, maybe a little bit more. All right. After I read, I'm going to ditch these two today. Not too keen on it. You got to be an intuitive cook, what feels right. But this maca, after you read on the internet what all good there is in there, gee, it's really fine powder. And I'm getting a lot of, you don't have to make as much because lots of times when I'm hungry for breakfast, I don't want to fiddle around too long. I'm ready to, so remember, coconut flour is not interchangeable like regular flour. These other flours are okay. It just absorbs an awful lot of the moisture. Not that you can't add more moisture, but coconut flour in there. Almond is good, and hazelnut. And lots of times I think you have to put these in the freezer if you have them out too long. We want some nuts in there. So I threw some hazelnut. And you can smell if your stash is getting older. But anyhow, I'm putting a little bit of almond flour in there. And you can get super fine or not super fine. So that's my stash of stuff. You pick and choose what you want to use that day. Okay? And so a little bit of, I put some baking soda here. A little bit of baking soda so it raises. I didn't always do this. You know, you don't always have to put something that, and of course baking powder. But what about a little bit of spice? We were talking about Paxton's friend coming. And of course you got to rub your belly when you're doing this. Paxton's friend, he said he can't have sugar. Okay, well, when you start looking at alternatives, if you're looking at monk fruit, there's no, that's where my nail went. There's no glycemic index. It's like 0. So I always put in here, my nails aren't really strong. Here's my 2 spices. And you can do what you want, but I'm heavy duty into cardamom, and it has a subtle flavor to it. So put a little bit in there because, you know, we're going to make some strawberry pancakes because I just had breakfast for lunch and da-da-da. So you don't always have to put your, and this is my cinnamon, you don't always have to put spices in there, but wouldn't that be good to go with if you made your pancakes or waffles, and so you want to mix that. Oh, we better have some salt though. Salt brings out your flavor, and of course a little bit of pink Himalayan because it's got all those minerals. So you see how you can pack up your pancakes or your waffles with lots of good things without using grains. Read at one time when I was on a meat diet, heavy meat diet, that the Egyptians, once they went from hunters and gatherers to eating grains, all their teeth, they ate dates and all this wonderful stuff. Well, their teeth rotted and they died at 35. And this guy who was really into, you know, slamming wheat. So I always put a couple eggs. And actually when I overloaded this, so maybe I'll do 3. So put some eggs in first. Fine and dandy, I gotta get my rag. But then you have to add oil. And I'm partial to avocado oil. Some of these other oils are just not so good for you. And I never measure anything. Just pour some oil in there. Okay, avocado oil. It's pretty good. My body likes that. And then this coconut milk, I've got this almond milk because I find that if I make this mix in the morning, and then if you make extra, then you can put it in your refrigerator and you can have it for a couple of days. Okay, so I'm going to add some coconut milk and then some almond milk because we need moisture. All right, some almond milk, and then you got to mix it up. No problem with that, is there? So I think the technique is to do these things separately. This is just the wrong spoon. And my other are over there. I should have like a little fork because that way, even though it's broken, it breaks up the eggs and then you can mix this up. I'm wondering what else I put in there. Eggs, 3 eggs, some oil, and almond milk and coconut milk. Then we're going to combine them. I gotta turn on my waffle iron because we're gonna make waffles, okay? And it's really nice if it's heated up and it gets going. It has some nice heat and we pour it on there, but we'll make a bunch. And then because we already had lunch and so is these guys, what we're gonna do is probably make some strawberry waffles. I'll make up a bunch of these waffles, and then we're going to slice our strawberries and have some whipped cream, not much sugar in it. I use my monk fruit in there and lots of bourbon vanilla in the whipped cream. Put it on the waffles with some fresh strawberries. This dude's got his birthday today. We get to sing him happy birthday with waffles that have, you know, you could put sugar in here if you wanted to. I have all kinds of, my favorite is this date sugar in here. So you can do just like the rest of the stuff. Here's my date sugar. Woohoo! I'm not too crazy about sweet waffles, but it'll give us a twinge of flavor, of sweetness. Not that you're after that. So we're gonna mix them to get your eggs mixed up with the almond milk. And here's the proof of the pudding. When you get this put in here, then you say, ooh, I think I need more liquid, which is generally the case. Because when you're doing shoot by the hip cooking and random mismeasured, you know, because there is no, I want to teach you how to be an intuitive cook. And I have this little cooking club with these girls, and I got them in 1 month. to be able to spice up soups, breads, anything with spices, and they love it. They don't want me to give them any input. I just have spices around for them. And now, see this? I think it's a little too thick. So we're going to thin it out. And what's our choices? Do you want a little bit more coconut milk or you want almond milk? Let's see what else I've tried in here. I think I've tried fruit juices and things like that, but I'm going to thin it out a little bit. And as our waffle iron is heating up, we'll be ready. So there's so much batter in here that I have enough for a birthday party today. But we'll make our first one and you can see what it looks like. And you just mix it up so it has a good consistency. Do you see that? I think it's fairly good. Maybe a little heavy so it won't cook the same as one, but remember we've got baking soda in here a little bit and baking powder, and that'll help lift it up. But a lot of this stuff is kind of heavy, but as long as I get a consistency, that's all I care about when I eat this. So you can make pancakes on the stove, get your pan hot with some oil, because that makes really good pancakes. Then sprinkle your fruit in there. I always put raspberries or whatever, but and you can blackberries are really good. But anyhow, when we go to make waffles, you can do the same. But I do better with getting this sounds weird. I do better with putting the fruit on the top after we're done. And what I usually do for topping, while this is still getting hot, pure maple syrup is really nice. But you get your butter on there, and then you put your maple syrup, put your butter, of course, butter. But then you can add a little bit of fruit, and that's what makes it just downright tasty. And so we might be able to make you up something, but I wanted you to understand that 2 eggs with some oil over here, and your liquid, choose whatever you want, and then dump your different, you know, and then cassava is really good. I have that in another jar up here, but cassava flour is really a very good one, and I didn't put it in here, and so I don't know what the texture and what the taste is going to be like, but we'll see. And we're going to go on, so you get your waffle, you slather it with butter, and then you put on a little bit of syrup and some jam if you want. I make jam without any sugar. And you just cook your fruit. And it's kind of cool because it's not a meat. Of course, you got to cook bacon and eggs with it. But it's something that's pretty satisfying in the morning to have pancakes and waffles without paying $45 or $50 with Stephen Gundry. So life is good when you can sit at your kitchen counter, make yourself some quick breakfast with no grains. It's easy to do. And you don't have to be afraid. And you know, some of these, it's ready now, but some of these, and I got some flours that say no gluten, but they just don't taste good. And this is always much better because what you do is you balance. This is my fast and easy way of making waffles. I wish you'd come and see I want it thinner, I think. So we'll make one here where they're kind of thick. When they're super thick, they don't always cook through really well. But we're gonna put it down and see how it goes and thin it out. But you can do what you want with this once you have it going there. My little dishes I got the cutest little dishes. Not that one. Little copper dishes to put my stuff on. How cute is that? Okay, and then to get ready to plate it, I got my thrift store plate. That's new to me. And so what we're going to do is be ready to slather a lot of butter on there. And of course those things have notification when it's done. But I usually lift it up, turn it over, and I really think my son's idea, Paxton here, he puts everything in the air fryer to crisp it up. So once you make your waffles and lay them out on your counter, if you don't want to use them right then and there, then you just put them in your air fryer and crisp them up. You get my drift? Okay, so we're going to get ready here to put our strawberries on our waffle when they're done. Okay, smells good. I just had lunch, Mexican, and now I'm ready to have hot waffles. I like them better than pancakes. And what's really cool about these, you make a little sausage patty and egg, and you've got yourself a perfect waffle breakfast sandwich, just like what Town Pump has. So here's what I do to check out the fluffiness of it. I turn them over and cook them some more after I check them out in here. And I like that because I kind of like a crispy waffle, okay? I know I have some whipped cream in here, and after we're done here, we're gonna whip up some real whipped cream. My aunt always said powdered sugar, you never not use powdered sugar. And then the bourbon vanilla and just a little bit of powdered sugar, but the heavy whipping cream makes a wonderful slather, and we'll post a picture of it later on. But I want you to know, you make your flour combination in the bowl, make your egg, your liquid mixture, put them together, and lay them in your waffle iron. So let's see what we got here. It might need a little bit more heating, but we're going to go with this as it is because it's just kind of fun to see what the final product looks like. And we're going to slather some butter on this, a little bit of strawberries, and a little bit of maple syrup. Now, your guests can decide whether they want maple syrup or not, you know, and I like this jam that's made without sugar. So you get to have delicious waffles without any flour. You know, no grains. Grains are just cause all kinds of irritation, I think, to your gut. But there's lots of good options if you want to make your own. Now, all it takes is just a little bit of maple syrup to get it slurpy on here. And we'll slice up some strawberries, and if I had my whipped cream ready, we would put some whipped cream on there. But there's your waffles and how you make it. You get the drift? I hope you do. If you have any questions, please check back. And it's Montana Cooking Community, and we have lots of recipes coming for you. Okay? Enjoy your breakfast. It doesn't take very long. You just throw the powder stuff in the bowl, and now wouldn't some whipped cream on there just look dandy? Your grainless waffles.